Hi everyone. What we're going to do today is show how to do the macros in Switchboard. And I'm using the dental database as an example. So for those of you that are using this, congratulations, it'll make it easy for you. But for anybody else, not to worry. What we'll learn here is easily transferable to what you're doing because it's basically going to be the same steps. Alright, so the first thing we need to do is we need to create a switchboard, because what we want the switchboard to do is have buttons to open up our forms we made for our tables here. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is a switchboard, and a switchboard is just a blank form in the beginning. So to do that, we're going to go to create, and then we're going to come over here to where it says blank forms, and I'm going to click on that, and you'll see that it opens it up in form view with the default name of form 1. I'm actually going to save that as, and I simply did a right click on the tab, and I'm going to save that as switchboard. I could have called it anything else, but we're just calling it that for ease of use in this demonstration. Okay, so there's my switchboard. And I'm also going to go to my design view. Now, when you're in design view in the switchboard, you'll notice that it has all these grids. And I'm just going to open it up to the full screen. And if I want, I can also put a title up here. And I think I'll just do that. I'll make it Dental Office Project. And you'll see that I used the label button up here on the design. Okay, so I can highlight that. I'll go back to Home. I'll make it, let's say 24. I can center it. Highlight it again. If I want, I can bold it. Maybe I'll make the lettering bright red, and I can backfill that to a light gray. Whoops, sorry, I used the wrong one. Let's do that again. Backfill a lighter gray. There we go. Alright, so I've got my dental office project here, the switchboard. Now what we want to do, we want to put some buttons on here, literally little buttons that we can click, and that it will open up these 3 forms. And then we want another 4th button that will actually close this database for us. Okay, so we're going to do that by creating macros. So the first thing we have to do, since we don't have them, is to create them. So I hit the create button, and over here on the right up here you'll see this little scroll of paper, and it says macro. I'm going to click on that, and it brings up this screen, default value of macro 1, and this little line in here is for a command, and you'll see the drop down box. Now these are all in alphabetical order, and there's all kinds of things that we can do with this, and you'll see them as you scroll down through here. Just take a look at all the different commands that we can do. But what we want to do is to open up these forms. So there is a generic command called open form, and I'm going to click on that. Now when you say open form, it's got to ask what form. It's like saying, you know, open the door, and there's multiple doors where you got to know which door to open, right? So we're going to say open form, and it brings up this little screen, and you'll notice form name. All the way to the right we have this drop down box. I'm going to take my appointment forms, and we have some other things here. The view is going to be form view. That's good, we leave that. We have no filters that we have to worry about. We have no conditions. Data mode, I'm going to drop this down, and you'll see 3. At the bottom we have read only. We'd say that if we wanted people only to look at the data for referencing of some sort. Edit, maybe that's our customer service people who say if one of our patients moved or changed the phone number, we'd have to go in and actually change information on their records. So the other one is add, and that's what we want. We want to be able to have this form pop up with just a line where we can add new appointments, add new people, or add new procedures. So I have my ad. Now I'm going to come up here and I'm going to save this. Now you can save this with any verbiage that you want to see on your button. So I'm going to have add space new and then space and then APPTS. Now don't put a period in there because it won't take it. Alright, so when I click OK, and I'm going to close this, you'll see down here on the left, you'll see it says, oh, add new appointments. So we're going to do the same thing with our other two forms up here for our tables. Okay, I'm going to go to macro, again, drop it down, and we want to say open form. Well, we have to give the form name. Last time we did appointments, this time we'll do patients. And again, we're going to come down to data mode. I'm going to drop this down. I'm going to say add. Now I can just say close this. And do you want to save it? I'll say yes. And we're going to say add new patients. And I'll close that. Alright, there's two. Let's do one more for the other table. We'll create a macro. We're going to open the form. We're going to drop this down. And we're going to say procedures. And again, the data mode is going to be add. And when I close this, I want to save it. And I'm going to say add new procedures. And I'll close that. So there's three. But we also need one that says close the database. So again, we have to have another macro. I'll drop the command list down, and if we come down through here, there's one that says close database. Now, we're not doing anything where we have to select a form or anything where there's multiples. This is a singular command that just says close the database. So I can close that, save the changes, and I can even type in close the database. Or you can say quit, exit, whatever you want to put in there. That's up to you. So now I have my four buttons. Now, how do I get these buttons up here? I'm simply going to drag them up. Watch. And drop them. And if I can just move them around a little bit to make them look nice. There's add new appointments. Here's add new patients. I'll put him right here. We'll just move him around a little bit. If I could quit shaking. And we'll just open him up a little. There's add new patients. Here's add new procedures. And close the database. And there you have it, guys. This is all you need to do to add the buttons, okay? Now, we have to have one more macro in here. And I'll get to that in a minute, but first what I want to show you is how this works. So let's go to our form view. Now, when I clicked on that, you'll see the grid's gone. So now these buttons should actually work. Alright, so if I click on new appointments, there you see we have the line where we can add new. I'll close that. Add new patients. Sure enough, there's our patients form. Add new features. Sure enough, there's our features, okay? And we can add them. Now, I need one more macro in here. One that when we open the database, it will automatically open this switchboard and then maximize the screen. Okay? So, again, what we need to do is go to create, and we need a macro. Now, remember what I said. We have to open the switchboard, which is a form, so we have to use an open form, and then we have to maximize the screen. So whereas before we were only doing one command here, now we have two commands. So the first thing we want to do is open the form. So which form? Our switchboard. Now on the other ones we said in the add, we don't have, the switchboard is not a form where we have any entry form. It's just a plain form. So we can leave everything else here as it is. But now we have to have the second command in here that says maximize this. So I'm simply going to click right here where next to this little green plus sign, drop this down, and I should be able to find maximize window right here. There's my second command. Here's the first command, here's the second command, and if we need a third command, we would enter it here, but we don't. Now, the thing about this particular macro is it has to be saved under a very specific name, and it has to be called auto-exec. Now, why is it called auto-exec? That stands for automatically execute. So when you open the database, all right, this will automatically pop open with these buttons on it for you. That's all it means. Okay, so if we want, we can actually click close the database. I'll save it, and if I want to open it again, right here it is, my Dentist 1 ACDB. Now watch what happens when I click it. There's my database all the way open again. Where before we would come up either with a blank screen or maybe the last thing that was open over here. But now we have this open. And so that is how we stop using these forms over here and give the user something a little more friendly with point and click. Alright? So if there's any questions on this, please let me know. And this is my first time using my Snagit video, so please let me know if this works. Okay? Thanks.